to Nizzy Sports Chat. I'm your host, Nizzy, and in this video, you guys, we're going to be doing our NFL Power Rankings after the Week 3 matchups that just finished up over the weekend and Monday Night Football, you guys. What an incredible week of football we had in the third week of the season. A lot of upsets, a lot of crazy finishes to games. Obviously, we had that big 66-yard field goal by Justin Tucker, broke the NFL record. The Green Bay Packers and Sunday Night Football ended up going on a last-second drive to clutch it with a 51-yard field goal from Mason Crosby. Just a lot of craziness happening over the weekend, you guys. Right real quick before we start breaking down the top 10 in the NFL Power Rankings, if you can go ahead and like this video if you like sporting content like this. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you're looking for more sporting content like this in the near future. Been getting a lot of support lately, you guys, and I greatly appreciate it. It means a lot to me. We're going to keep coming out with as many videos as possible here. But without further ado, let's go ahead and start breaking down our NFL Power Rankings heading into Week 4 here. We're going to do a Week 3 recap, you guys. We'll start at number 10 and work our way down. In the number 10 slot, we got the Baltimore Ravens. Had an outstanding game last week with that 66-yarder at the end to beat the Lions. With no time left on the clock, just an unreal kick from Justin Tucker. They've been playing really well with all the injuries they've been dealing with, obviously, to the running back room. Obviously, losing Marcus Peters, they're one of their starting cornerbacks on the defensive side of the football as well. So I'm really impressed with what I've seen from them dealing with all those injuries and still being able to pull out the victories. Obviously, they beat the Chiefs last week as well. So a couple nice wins for them. So that's why I got them in that number 10 slot, you guys. Heading over to the number 9 slot in the NFL Power Rankings, we got the Los Angeles Chargers. Incredible game from Justin Herbert and the boys over the weekend there. Being able to take one home against the Kansas City Chiefs by a score of 30-24. Beating them in Arrowhead at the Chiefs' home field, which is just phenomenal. Justin Herbert's looking like an absolute bona fide stud out there. That Chargers defense is looking nasty now that they're fully healthy after, obviously, they're dealing with some injury last season. I believe Derwin James, their top safety there, missed a bunch of time last season. Joey Bosa's healthy. He's looking phenomenal for those guys. And they're just looking like a force to be reckoned with in the AFC right now. So I got the Chargers in the 9 slot. Heading over to the number 8 slot, you guys. Now, this team has been in my number 1 for the last couple weeks here. They have dropped after taking a loss to the Rams, and we got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the 8 slot, you guys. Like I said, obviously having a rough go against the Los Angeles Rams over the weekend. Rams are looking like a full, complete team on both sides of the football. Obviously, it was a tough matchup for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Their secondary is dealing with some injuries right now, and they just weren't able to get it done against the Rams. Obviously, you know, that doesn't mean that they're going to be bad for the rest of the season. I expect them to bounce back big time and probably take it to the Patriots this week, but I had to bring them down a little bit on the list just because of that loss to the Rams over the weekend there. So I got Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the 8 slot. Heading over to the number 7 slot, you guys, heading back to the AFC. We got the Denver Broncos. Phenomenal start for these guys to their season, starting out 3-0. Now, obviously, their talent that they've been playing against, some of the teams they've been playing against have not been the best teams, but they've looked phenomenal. Regardless, they haven't really had any close games. They've been handling business the way you're supposed to handle business against lesser talent. Teddy Bridgewater has looked phenomenal so far to start the season for these guys. He's looking like that. I don't want to say he's a full-on franchise quarterback, but he's kind of fits that Ryan Fitzpatrick role. Just a journeyman quarterback who's, you know, can give you some valuable time in that QB room, obviously, for them, which was lacking last season. And obviously they got a top-end defense still. Patrick Surtain's been unreal for them. Justin Simmons, their top safety. They still got Von Miller rushing the passer for them. So I like where Denver's at here. I got them in the number 7 slot. Heading over to the number 6 slot, you guys, we got another 3-0 team. Probably a pretty big surprise for most of us here in the Carolina Panthers. They had to make the list, you guys. They were outstanding. The last few weeks here, they had a 24-9 win over the Texans in Thursday Night Football last week. And they've just been looking solid all year. Sam Darnold looks rejuvenated and refreshed with a new team. Their coach there is just a phenomenal coach. Can't think of the name of the guy off the top of my head, you guys, but he's been doing a phenomenal job in his second year as the head coach for the Carolina Panthers. They got a top 10 defense. I think they might even be a top 5 defense right now. They've just been very stout on that side of the football. So I really like what I've seen from Carolina. Obviously, they just made a trade this week as well, trading Dan Arnold to pick up another cornerback, C.J. Henderson from the Jaguars with their first-round cornerback ended up going down with injury there. So they got someone to replace him. But I like where the Carolina Panthers are at, you guys. I think they're going to be able to keep it rolling here. I think they can be a for sure playoff team this year. And that's why I got them in the number 6 slot. Heading over to the 5th slot, you guys. Green Bay's making a move up the standings. I'm a big Packers fan, you guys. I had never actually had them in my week 1 power rankings, obviously, after getting absolutely annihilated by the New Orleans Saints there. They bounced back nicely in week 2 against the Lions, and then they had just a memorable game all around, you guys, with that last-second drive by Aaron Rodgers. 37 seconds left in the game, 0 timeouts. He was able to hit 2 daggers down the middle of the field to Davante Adams, setting up that 51-yard field goal kick for Mason Crosby. Overall in that game, I really liked the way the Packers handled it. Obviously, it was a matchup between 2 big-time teams in the NFC. And I was proud of the way we handled things in the trenches. Obviously, that was a struggle in weeks 1 and week 2. We weren't getting a lot of pressure on the quarterback. Our defense wasn't getting a lot of pressure on the quarterback. And our O-line was kind of struggling a little bit. I thought we had a lot better performance in the trenches on the offensive and defensive side of the ball. So I got the Packers in the 5 slot. Heading over to the number 4 slot, we got another 3-0 team in the Arizona Cardinals, you guys. Had a nice little comeback win against the Jacksonville Jaguars last week. Obviously, we had that crazy turn of events at the last second. I think they were trying for a 68-yard field goal as time expired. Ended up falling short, and he had a 106 or 109-yard touchdown return. Just a crazy return at the end of the first half there. So I think that put Arizona down 13-7 at that point. And they were able to storm back, obviously, in the second half. I think the final score ended up being 31-19. They've been solid all around. They had a close one against Minnesota, obviously. They probably should have lost that game if Minnesota didn't miss the 37-yard field goal. But that defense has been stout for them. That pass rush is just outstanding, obviously, with guys like Chandler Jones and J.J. Watt. They've just been a force to be reckoned with, and you got guys like Budda Baker on the back end. Obviously, their offense is quite stout as well when you got MVP candidate Kyler Murray and one of the best wide receivers in the league in DeAndre Hopkins. The run game's been getting going a little bit better with James Conner in there as well. So I like what I've seen from them. That's why I got the Arizona Cardinals in the number 4 slot. Heading over to the number 3 slot, you guys. I had to put them in there. Moved them up 1 from 4 in the week 2, I believe. So that's the Vegas Raiders, you guys. 3-0 on the season. Quite impressive start so far. They've got 2 overtime victories, as well as a victory on the road in Steelers' home field there. I think the most impressive part about the Vegas Raiders so far, you guys, is that they were able to beat 3 teams so far in the first 3 games of the season that were all 10-plus win teams last year. So they're not playing scrubs. They're playing high-quality talent on the other side of the field there, and they've been able to pull off the W's so far early on in the season here. That defense looks very much renewed. Guys like Casey Hayward and Yannick Ngakoue have been huge additions to that team. Max Crosby continues to step up. Derek Carr is playing at an MVP caliber so far this season. Obviously, Henry Ruggs has stepped up a lot as an outside threat and a deep threat over the top for them. He's been really good. So overall, I've really liked what I've seen. Obviously, they got Darren Waller, the tight end, who's just outstanding as well. Probably one of the best tight ends in the league right now, right up near Travis Kelce there. So that's why I got the Vegas Raiders in the 3 slot right now, you guys. Heading over to the number 2 slot, we got the Buffalo Bills with another huge win against Washington over the weekend. Beat them up pretty good. I think the final score is like 41-21 or something like that. They were in the 40s for sure. Can't remember the score off the top of my head, you guys, but I know they just were pounding it to the Washington football team there. And we all expected Washington to have a pretty decent defense this year. I mean, the Buffalo Bills definitely didn't make them look like a good defense over the weekend, allowing 40-some points. And they've just been rolling. Obviously, they had a huge shutout victory against Miami as well, 35-0 a couple weeks back there. So since that week 1 loss against the Steelers, where they just looked like they weren't ready to play and they were just getting marred by the Steelers defense, they've really bounced back and had 2 phenomenal performances in week 2 and week 3. That's why I got Buffalo Bills in the number 2 slot, you guys. And then no surprise here, coming in at the number 1 slot, we got the Los Angeles Rams. Ended up beating the Buccaneers on the weekend by, I think it was, can't remember the score off the top of my head, you guys. It was 30-something to 20-something there. But they're 3-0 to start the season. Phenomenal win against Tom Brady and the Buccaneers. Los Angeles has been looking good all season long here. Matt Stafford looks completely rejuvenated with his new squad there. We always knew he was super talented. He's just been, unfortunately, with a broken organization in the Lions for a decade. He's finally gotten a breath of fresh air over there and with the Rams and Sean McVay and that intricate offense that they like to run over there. It's been a smooth transition for him so far. Obviously, they got, a top 5 defense, top 3 defense in the league. Guys on the back end like Jalen Ramsey, Aaron Donald's a beast up front there. Leonard Floyd's an outstanding linebacker. So they just got a good stout team on both sides of the ball. I would say hands down right now the Rams are the best team in the league. I don't think it's too close. They might get beaten on, as they say in the NFL, any given Sunday it is possible, but right now they're almost looking unbeatable as long as they don't make mistakes to shoot themselves in their own foot. These guys are on a roll. They could end up being, a 14-3 team this year, 13-4 record, something like that for the Los Angeles Rams. So that's my top 10 NFL power rankings, you guys, with a little week 3 recap. We'll just break down from 10 to 1 real quick again. We got Baltimore in the 10 slot, the Chargers in the 9 slot, Tampa Bay Bucks in the 8 slot, Denver Broncos at 7, Carolina Panthers at number 6, Green Bay Packers at number 5, Arizona Cardinals number 4, Vegas Raiders at number 3, and then we got Buffalo and Los Angeles Rams at 2 and 1, you guys. I'd love to get your guys' opinion in the comment section down below. Who do you got in your top 10 for the NFL power rankings after week 3, heading into week 4 here, you guys? Should be another good slate of games this weekend. Can't wait. I'll probably have a game prediction video coming up where I predict the winner of each game. I'll probably have that video coming out tomorrow or Thursday. But once again, you guys, I appreciate you taking the time to watch this video, and every video on my channel means a lot, man. Please go ahead and like this video if you so choose. Subscribe to the channel if you so choose. And this is Nizzy with Nizzy Sports Chat. Bye.